Alrighty guys, welcome back to Star Wars Review. So, now about a week or two ago, a surprise announcement happened as Lucasfilm just randomly dropped a trailer for Tales of the Underworld, which is a follow-up to the previous Tales of animated anthology series, which this one will seemingly have the same format, which this one will focus on Cad Bane and Asajj Ventress, and will once again be 6 shorts, and I would assume 3 about Bane and 3 about Ventress, and all 6 will release on May 4th, 2025, so Star Wars Day, a lot like last year, had Tales of the Empire on May 4th, but it seems like Ventress's shorts will be set after her appearance in The Bad Batch Season 3, which I am a little disappointed that the follow-up to that episode is just going to be 3 shorts. I would have liked something a little longer, mainly because, they did bring her character back from the dead for this, so I would have liked something with a little more to it to kind of justify that, but maybe this will be enough, or maybe there's even more after this, I don't know. Obviously, the stuff with Cad Bane, I'm not fully sure when it'll take place. Right now I'm thinking before the Clone Wars, but I'm not fully sure. But alongside the trailer, there was also a poster, which has all the characters inside of a credit symbol, which is interesting. But I'm just going to kind of dive into the trailer, talking about what I noticed and whatnot. I'll split it in 2 halves. I'll talk about the Ventress stuff first, and then I'll talk about the Cad Bane stuff later. So to start with Ventress, the trailer does start with her, as we see this guy speaking to her, as he talks about needing to be cautious around strangers, but Lady Ventress is no stranger, so seems like whoever this old guy is, they have a past with Ventress. But during that dialogue, we get some wide shots of places, mainly this farm-looking place where it has B-1 battle droids up as like scarecrows. There's also a wide shot of some people in a canyon riding on like some sort of animal, like a camel looking thing, which I do wonder if it could be Asajj riding to this farm place. But then we see this industrial looking place where we see some stormtroopers, which are normal looking ones and not the ones we see in the Bad Batch. So this definitely takes place after that series. But we see this black robe wearing person walk out of this building, which I think might be an Inquisitor we see later in the trailer. But then we see Ventress meet this young Force user who we don't get a name for, but we see him ask Ventress who she is, which she reveals that she was Dooku's assassin, but she doesn't want that life anymore. And so I assume we'll see her kind of train this young Force user as in the Bad Batch. That's what she was looking for. But we see her protecting him from that Inquisitor as we see them duel in this hangar. After that, with Asajj, it's just a lot more quicker action shots. We see her and that young Force user who now has a lightsaber taking out some stormtroopers. A lot of shots of Asajj in a Imperial shipyard from the looks of it, kind of running away and taking out Imperials. I assume this is around when she faces that Inquisitor. A shot of Asajj and the young Force user, I think on that farm, pulling their lightsabers out. And then also a shot of them in a chase in that canyon I mentioned earlier. There is also some shots of Asajj, I think maybe fighting someone at the farm who's shooting at them. That's all I really noticed with Ventress. Seems like her story will be about her training this Force user, encountering stormtroopers and the Inquisitor and whatnot. So I assume one episode will at least be on that farm, maybe another of her meeting him, and then probably that, one with the duel with the Inquisitor. But to now go to Cad Bane, we first see him arriving to this planet, which could be Duro, his home world, as we see several Duros in the trailer. But we see Bane get to the surface where this Trandoshan in this human male, give him his hat, which Bane doesn't have the tube thingies attached to his face, so that's interesting, which in the Clone Wars, he has been shown without them, but only when he's not dressed in his normal attire, so, I assume maybe we'll see how he gets those, and, that makes me believe this is set before the Clone Wars, but, on what I think is Duro, he kind of seems to come there and then faces his past, as it seems like his former friend has now become like a sheriff or marshal or something, and so we kind of see them on different sides of the law, which there's a scene where they're in like a western shoot-off, which, going off of dialogue, it seems like Cad Bane thinks this marshal who was his friend took everything from him, as he says. So, I wonder if he's there to get revenge, maybe. And, we get dialogue scenes of the friend kind of talking to other Duros about Bane and whatnot. But after that, it's a lot more quicker action shots. There's one of a police car chase, one of, I assume, Bane in like some store shooting people. There's a shot of a building on fire, which could be that store, not sure. But the trailer ends with someone, maybe that sheriff or marshal or whatever, telling Bane, "This revenge, I hope it was worth it." Which Bane responds, "It will be," as he seemingly gets taken away in cuffs. But that's everything I noticed in the trailer. Like I said, I assume the Bane ones are set before the Clone Wars. Honestly, maybe one could be when he's younger and then comes back, and then maybe there's some time jumps. I don't know. Don't know what to take away from Bane stuff out of what's in what episode. Obviously, the Asajj stuff is all after her appearance in the Bad Batch, mainly going off of the Stormtroopers. But, I'm excited for this one. I've enjoyed the other two series. Also, one thing with the other one, with Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Empire, I really liked one of the characters' 3 episodes, but wasn't into the other characters' 3 episodes as much. Obviously, with Jedi, I really liked Dooku's more than Ahsoka's. And with Empire, I really liked Barris's episodes way more than Morgan Elsbeth's. So I am hoping this one I enjoy both characters' episodes. Obviously, like as mentioned earlier, I do wish, or I was hoping that the Asajj stuff would have been for something a bit bigger than 3 shorts, as, a broader back from the dead. So I am hopeful these 3 shorts can deliver enough to make that feel justified enough. Obviously, there could be more after this, but I don't know. But, I always like Cad Bane, so excited to get more backstory for him. But like I said, all 6 episodes released May 4th, and I'll do a full review then. I never did do individual episode reviews for Tales of the Empire, so maybe I'll get around to that beforehand. I don't know, but I'll definitely do a full review of Tales of the Underworld on May 4th, so you could check that out then. But in the meantime, check out my reviews on the Tales of the Jedi and Tales of the Empire and all my other animated stuff and everything else to do. But in Star Wars review, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
What's the situation?
He was your best friend. Things have changed.
You took everything from me.
Who